Hello, everyone. This is Master of the Universe, Stuart Allen Swerdlow, the Imperial King.
People want to know why I don't laugh.
Because you know it's true.
That must be it. Yeah. All right. So I got stuff to tell you here. Interesting things. I have been talking to you a lot about noticing the buzzwords that are in the media.
There's bees in there?
Buzzwords. And last week I told you about Pat Robertson casting a spell about
yeah.
Hurricane Florence, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I said to me that was unusual, but a lot of people wrote in and said that in Pentecostal type of churches that's not so unusual. And one person sent me this particular link, which I thought was very interesting. There is actually a pastor, John A. Kilpatrick, who founded the Church of His Presence in Daphne, Alabama, who said that Donald Trump's witch hunt accusations were literally enough to ask that his congregation pray for Trump in his fight against witchcraft. Now, witchcraft, I've told you, that's part of the New World religion, the magic, the spells, the incantations. So I've kind of been, these are these buzzwords I tell you to look at. They can trigger you, so please be careful. You want to be sure that you read True Reality of Sexuality, 13 Cubed, and Hyperspace Helper all have basic deprogramming information so you don't get triggered from some of this stuff. But you do need to be aware of what's going on. So anyway, in this video, Pastor Kilpatrick connected America's current scourge of witchcraft that is attacking the president to a biblical struggle in which Trump is in a showdown for power with the shadows of the deep state.
So I'm confused. Is he for the president or not for the president?
Well, let's listen. Kilpatrick can be seen shouting and speaking in tongues as he prays for Trump to defeat the evil witchcraft powers.
I speak with my tongue.
He says, I don't know if you know this, and I don't know if you're going to believe me when I tell you this, but what's happening right now in America is witchcraft is trying to take over this country.
More than that.
And it's very interesting because in our September class, we did talk about the demons that are out there and the angels that can correct things. And so here we have things that we were very similar to what we talked about. In fact, I'm just going to throw it out there because it's interesting.
Throw it at me.
One thing that we did talk to people about is the iron that red meat is when you eat red meat.
Well, backtrack.
Okay, backtrack.
So that iron, demonic entities are afraid of iron and it hurts them.
Right.
So they stay away from iron.
So if they make you a vegetarian and you buy into that and you're low on iron, because I've never seen a strong vegetarian yet. So they're low on iron. And then that's when I was telling you that, yes, it does make you more open to demonic possession, and that is why. But that's one of the reasons why.
An iron ring.
Yeah.
So it keeps all the demons away.
Yeah, but you're not a vegetarian.
No, but this helps me even more.
Does it?
Be gone, Satan.
Okay, well, you don't want to encourage them to use that instead of eating iron.
No, but it just helps.
No.
I lick it sometimes.
No, stop. That's disgusting. Anyway, so this pastor goes on and he says, I am not being political, but I don't see how President Trump bears up under it. He's as strong as I've ever seen a man be, but here's what the Holy Spirit said to me last night and what he said for me to tell you.
Holy Spirit talks to him.
He does. Tell the church that so far Trump has been dealing with Ahab. A-H-A-B.
Oh, I would have used a different A word.
But Jezebel's fixing to step out from the shadows. He said, pray for Trump now because he said there's going to be a shift and the deep state is about to manifest and it's going to be a showdown like you can't believe.
Okay, hold on. The deep state already has manifested.
Yeah.
And interesting that you said that because I just saw information that compared Omarosa to Jezebel.
Ah, that makes sense. He says, I'm coming to you as a prophet, as a man of God, and I'm telling you it's time to pay for the president.
So he's a prophet now.
He goes on and he says he's, as part of the Pentecostal practice, he began speaking in tongues, which I heard, which to me kind of sounded a little demonic, I have to say. But this is a phenomenon. I've never heard a cult speaking in tongues before. This is called glossolalia.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, see, I didn't. And then he was shouting his prayers for Trump. And then he goes on to say this president has been under pressure and an Ahab, okay, like situation. When you graduate up to the main power broker, that's Jezebel. I really do feel this way.
She was a hoe.
His greatest attack is yet to come. It's a culmination. It's not a witch after him. It's a spirit of witchcraft trying to muzzle him.
I thought it was Satan.
Well, I think it's all involved, and I happen to agree with him, actually.
You are Pentecostal?
I'm
You're
glad-
talking in
I'm
tongues?
telling you that there's witchcraft and
Next
all
thing you'll
sorts
be handling
of
snakes?
all sorts of horrible stuff. If you have not read my article called The Unholy Trinity, you need to read that. And you should have been at the September class because we had talked about that a lot.
Well, you should have.
Should have. Anyway, more witchcraft stuff. Beyonce.
Ha!
Beyonce's former drummer, Kimberly Thompson, who worked for Beyonce for 7 years, accused Beyonce of witchcraft, including tapping her phone, and claims that Beyonce murdered Kimberly's kitten.
Aw, poor kid.
So therefore, she in her court papers, right in the court she
was in
put
the
in
court.
in the court, she said it was a campaign of harassment that included dark magic spells of sexual molestation.
Ooh.
Now she asked for a restraining order, but that was denied.
Against Beyonce?
Yes, but it was denied. So again, here we have the witchcraft magic stuff. And then it gets even more bizarre because the National Geographic magazine's editor-in-chief had an interview with Bill and Melinda Gates of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And she said, if you each had a magic wand,
Who said this?
the editor-in-chief to National Geographic, this is National Geographic's editor, she asked Bill and Melinda Gates if they each had a magic wand, what would they do in the world to change it?
Well, they're both magicians, aren't they?
Yeah.
Wizards.
So Melinda Gates said she would provide contraceptives to the 200 million women who lack access, and Bill Gates said he would stop malnutrition among children who are not able to fully develop. And again, they have billions of dollars,
Yeah, so why don't
and
they
they
give
have
some?
right, and they have access to other power broker families in the world. If they wanted to stop it, they don't have to wave a magic wand. They just have to pay for some things,
Well,
right?
you actually knew Bill Gates.
Well, I met him. Can't say I
Well,
would
he used
know
to go to your government meetings.
stuff. But my point being is, here we have more magic out there for you. And speaking of the Duchess of Sussex, now remember, S-E-X.
I know who that is.
Who?
It's Meghan Markle.
Yes, so I want to remind you that S-E-X at the end, sex, okay? And the things that they're doing with Meghan. Well, now I want to talk to you about Sussex University. And this was also a story that someone sent to me, very interesting. And guess what it's titled? You'll never guess.
Sex.
Close. Semen or toothpaste?
No.
Yes.
Come on.
So, of course, that's going to catch your attention, right? Apparently, Sussex University asked their first-year students if they spit or swallow on a promotional beer mat in their welcome packs.
What?
The ad for toothpaste features a picture of a woman's mouth full of what could be toothpaste. That's what I would have said. I saw the picture. To me, I thought toothpaste, so it's just bizarre. Or is it semen?
Why would they do that?
And this is like, if you can't get it, we're going to tell you. Because if I would have looked at that and it's about, I would have thought toothpaste, right? But anyway, it says now the university is, being harassed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, but because they are actually being accused of sexual harassment for allowing the distribution of the ad material, which users have dubbed degrading, intimidating, and hateful toward women and girls. Now, the University of Sussex pointed their finger at
This is in Britain.
This is in Britain, at the
course.
student union for the decision. And the toothbrush company called Brushbox said the image was meant to be tongue-in-cheek and spark awareness for a serious issue. The fact is that huge portions of the population suffer from really poor oral health.
In Britain, yeah.
So apparently they did it intentionally.
Well, of course they did.
But it doesn't look, if you look at that, if they didn't tell you that, it wouldn't be in your head. That's my point. So they're telling you to make sure you notice it, to imprint you with these things. They said, whilst our image was intended to raise eyebrows, at no point in time was it ever our intention to cause outright offense.
No. Oh, really?
Yeah. So then one person writes, why didn't you use a masculine mouth? Why did you choose a feminine one? Did you consult women? I'm interested to know why you thought equating brushing your teeth with oral sex was in any way necessary or appropriate. So the point is they're bringing this stuff to the forefront. That's what they're doing. So this is a purposeful thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and they admit it's purposeful.
Well, at least they're being honest.
Well, because now they're telling you. We've always said it's not behind the scenes. Now they're telling you what they're doing. Well, that's only the start of the things I have to tell you.
Uh-oh.
Paul McCartney. Did you hear about his latest interview?
I thought he was dead.
No, he's not. No, far from dead. Listen to this. Okay, Paul McCartney gave an interview on masturbating with John Lennon and the Beatles. You didn't hear this?
No.
He said that their sexual encounters brought them closer as a group. This is, again, imprinting you, making this normal.
All the Beatles or just those two?
He said, instead of just getting roaring drunk and partying, we just all sat in these chairs, the lights were out, somebody started masturbating, so we all did it. And they didn't think anything about it, he goes on to say, it was just a group. And then he said they weren't into orgies, but there were sexual encounters of the celestial kind, and there were groupies. And then he went on to say the band's shared sexual experiences were good for their closeness, meaning that you too should go out and have group sex with people.
Okay.
Okay? Now I want you to understand, now you asked about Paul McCartney, because I'm thinking kind of the same thing. Why are they interviewing him? Did you know he just put out a new record called Egypt Station, which opened at #1 on the charts?
Isn't he? I thought he was dead.
He's 76 years old, a 13. He's 76 years old. It's the first time he's put something out in 36 years.
Is it any good?
I didn't listen to it and I don't know. My point is, it's Egypt, Egypt, Egypt. All over again. 3 times. Egypt 4 times. If a 76-year-old man, what, 7 plus 6 is 13. Somebody like most people think are dead. Now he's talking about John Lennon, who, he's dead. Like, he can't defend himself, right? He's telling all kinds of stuff. He's doing whatever they say at 76. He probably needs extra money in his pocket.
I wonder how he brushes his teeth.
And then it doesn't stop there. It goes on with Yoko Ono and John Lennon.
Oh no, Yoko Ono?
Yoko Ono. Apparently there's a new book out by Ray Connolly, who first met John Lennon in 1967. So he's been along all the time, and when they wanted to write this book, of course, they thought of him. And in this book, again, Normalizing Group Sex, they claim that Yoko Ono handpicked a mistress for John Lennon and covered for him when he took a third mistress.
I don't understand that.
What don't you understand?
Covered for him.
Because he not only took one mistress, he took a third. He took a third lover, because I guess she was the
Yoko
first.
Picked them for him.
Kind of, yes, handpicked them.
So maybe it's because she didn't really like him. So she's like, hey, you go sleep with him.
Well, according to this, it says Yoko's actions astonished many at the time who knew the Lennons, but for her it made sense because in Japan, some upper-class wives welcome mistresses into their homes.
It's because they hate their husbands.
Yoko might be a feminist, but she was following a long tradition. So isn't that like kind of controversial?
Did you ever see old Japanese men?
I'm just telling you, it's bizarre. So it's a new book, and it goes into a lot of detail if you want to read the article. But of course, Lennon was shot, unfortunately, December 8th. But I will tell you, I'm sure he was shot because he was no longer useful. So they got rid of him. But the point is it goes into all this stuff, and it's telling you that these people are doing it's normal. And that's what they're doing. They're normalizing things that should not be normalized. Now, next, they're normalizing recreational drugs. They've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
And this story caught my attention as a little bit out of the ordinary about an actress named Kristen Bell, who apparently starred on a series called Veronica Mars. She was interviewed on a podcast called WTF with Mark Maron. She said, I like my vape pen quite a bit. Weed rules. Weed is my drug of choice for sure. She smokes it once a week once she puts her kids to bed, and she might host an ecstasy party.
Oh, what could go wrong?
Then she claims she's never done cocaine, but she wants to do that at least once before she dies.
Shouldn't everyone?
Then she went on to say her husband, actor Dax Shepard, thinks that this woman, his wife, would just love ecstasy. He feels you shouldn't leave Earth without trying ecstasy or mushrooms. He wants to get this is good parenting.
I like mushrooms in my salad.
Yeah, but not these kind of mushrooms. This is good parenting because he doesn't want to have this kind of a party with the kids in the house. Oh no. He wants to get everybody together, get an overnight babysitter that they trust, put the kids together, drop them off all together at this babysitter.
All the people's kids.
Yeah. Then they come to their house, they check their keys, because this is responsible.
That's
drug
very
party,
responsible,
right?
yes.
And then have one of his buddies there and give everybody really good ecstasy, and then they all just sit around and braid each other's hair. And
well,
then
I wouldn't do well with that.
Maybe not. We'll give you a wig. So then she said, look, he loves everything to have more passion, so who knows how it'll go. Maybe we'll all hook up together. Of course, that means more group sex.
We should have parties like that.
I don't want to have parties like that. And then, of course, she has just been picked up for to renew this episode, which will start again in 2019. This series, Veronica Mars. Mm-hmm. So now we have this as the role model for people. This kind of a person, she's promoting this responsible parenting now is having a drug party with your kids not in the house and sleeping with everybody else's spouse, I guess, right? Mm-hmm. So we're normalizing that.
That makes sense to me.
Okay, now it gets even, if you can believe it or not, more weird.
No.
More weird. Normalizing obesity.
I'm for that.
Now this, I've been telling you, everything is now upside down. Again, read my article, Unholy Trinity. Upside down world, backwards world, mirror programming, right? Mm-hmm. Now, Piers Morgan has been around for a long time.
Mm-hmm. He irritates me.
Yeah, well, this is actually wrote a very good letter to a woman named Tess Holliday, who has made herself...
I saw that.
Did you see that? She's actually went on Cosmopolitan magazine.
I kind of agreed with him with that.
Yeah. Did you read his article?
Somewhat.
Yeah, it was a good article. And the reason I'm telling it to you is because this is just bizarre. He says, stop lying to yourself. Tess, you're morbidly obese. It's going to kill you.
You're going to drop dead. Right.
And on the Cosmopolitan magazine, she's 5'3". She weighs over 300 pounds.
Woo!
And
Tons of fun.
Cosmopolitan magazine said a supermodel roars. Tess Holliday wants the haters to kiss her ASS.
Well, that would take a long time.
Now he goes on. He writes to this open letter and says, morbid obesity. It's a serious health condition. Those who are diagnosed with it are greater risk for diabetes, high blood pressure, gallstones, osteoarthritis, heart disease, cancer, and long story short, it can kill you. He said that why did you allow Cosmopolitan to sit you on a throne and say you're a role model for others? He said everything that Cosmopolitan said, you're everything the fashion industry needs right now because you don't conform to the narrow standard of beauty that's been set by society, and he calls that a load of nonsense.
So why don't you start eating?
Then he goes on to say that she said this is why she started her campaign that she created out of frustration because people were saying she was too fat to wear things, she should cover up, blah, blah.
No, that's because she was too fat to wear things.
So then she went on to say, I'm at the heaviest I've ever been in my life now, and so she just started posting these pictures, and she has 1.7 million, fans.
We should just get that and do that.
I don't know.
How fun would that be?
So now this Piers Morgan comes up and says, your fortune is entirely dependent on you remaining morbidly obese, and you're in a hellish spiral of self-delusion. He said, you're massively, dangerously overweight yet feigning joy, and you're not a good role model.
No. You could show movies on her if she wore a white dress.
The editors and producers are paying you large sums of money to glamorize your morbid obesity and are exploiting you, and they're enabling you. So stop lying to yourself. And then she's talking about her friends say she posts these pictures of herself where she's basically almost naked. And her friends will say things, damn, you look good, things like that.
Were they blind?
So he says if your friends are telling you that you look damn good in a photo that is obviously deeply unflattering, then as I said, you need better friends.
Yeah, or something else.
So he says the most inspirational thing you could do is lose weight, not put more on. It's a guaranteed pathway to sickness and misery and death. Mm-hmm. And stop pretending your body is radiating great positive image to the world.
Well, if you were an elephant.
My point being is this, is that people are paying people to do things to hurt themselves.
Okay, remember, first it was the amputees that was so beautiful. And then it was the ones who were anorexic. And then it was the ones who had tattoos all over their bodies. And then it was the ones that just, did other things, and now the fat thing.
Right. So it's going from one thing to another. And these are things that they're glorifying that you do to hurt yourself. So, and if you're overweight, anytime you're overweight, even if it's just a little bit, it means in your mind you're holding on to something. So instead of glorifying those people, you need to be doing your hyperspace oversoul work, hyperspace plus, healing archetypes and symbols, hyperspace helper, decoding your life. This will help you because if you're unhappy, that's why you're eating. And then you get so unhappy, you just say, okay, there's nothing I can do about it. Here I am. And then people pay you. So, the money is very short-lived. It's what happens to your soul that's long-lived. Please,
and your soul
think about these things.
Your soul can't get fat.
Now, I've got another story for you, and it gets even more bizarre. If you can believe it.
No.
One I have not reported on.
Go on.
Go on. This one is called Free the Pimple.
What?
Free the Pimple.
Why?
because they want to normalize acne and promote acne acceptance.
Why not?
So there's a woman, I'm trying to see if I have her name. Oh yeah, I don't know how to say her first name. How to say that?
Ratio?
I don't know, Ratio Cervantes. She's 25 years old, a makeup artist and a vlogger, it says.
A vlogger.
Vlogger. Apparently in January, Kendall Jenner shut down acne shamers.
Kendall Jenner?
Yeah, because...
That's a really good family.
Yeah, because apparently she appeared at the Golden Globes with her blemishes on display. So this Rocio Cervantes, this makeup person, started posting pictures of her own pimples.
Oh, please.
And then for the way it started was she covered them up with little stars, and then she put her makeup on and she peeled the stars off, and there were her pimples. So in all her
And she
glory,
got 14 million hits on that
probably.
one.
Yep. So now she's saying that she said, last night I was thinking, how would it be if I didn't have acne? What would I look like? I was so
Might be
ashamed.
pretty.
I was so ashamed of myself that I'm not beautiful. And other people must feel this way, she says. And then she goes on to say, I've been dealing with a lot of breakouts that caused me to not be able to put makeup on for days or even weeks. I'm telling you, makeups are mask. So maybe you want to be without makeup for a while and take off your mask.
I never wear makeup.
So I'm just telling you that all this stuff is creating something you're not and making you think it's all okay.
You know, it would be really cool if
What?
she gained 300 pounds and had the acne.
Well, they probably think that was wonderful.
Yeah.
She said she's been dealing with acne since she was 17. So listen to this. She's seen a cognitive therapist, whatever that is, to help her stop picking at her face. So let me interpret this for you. Your face is what you show people, and if you're picking at it, you're picking at yourself.
We could help her.
We can help her. All you have to do is get one of our books, and then you'll be done. So she said turning her pimples into stars is the makeup artist's latest way to encourage people to accept their face. She said, I'm so pleased because I've had several people message me telling me how it's helped them be more confident. She says, acne should be normalized. I mean, what a great cause, right? It used to be help to other people. Now you're going to help people with acne. I mean, it's really ridiculous.
Let's normalize all kinds of horrible things.
That's what I strive to do every day, break the boundaries in beauty. And
that's not beauty.
so we've got Kendall Jenner, we've got this woman, and now we have another one called Shauna, again, Sexton, S-E-X-T-O-N. Shauna Sexton, she's 22 years old, who used to do work as a veterinary specialist, but guess what? She's now dating 47-year-old Ben Affleck.
Oh.
Right? He's had a lot of problems lately, right?
A little bit.
Yeah. Anyway, so she complains of being, get this, gang-banged by chin acne after yoga class.
What?
She complains of being gang-banged by chin acne after yoga class.
Uh-huh.
So why are they bringing up acne? Why do you think? I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous.
I think they're getting people ready to see weird alien
That's
faces.
what I think. All of this has to do with
And
that.
especially if she's dating Ben Affliction.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway, weirdness all abounds. So they're trying to normalize the abnormal. If you're sane, make it appear like you're insane.
Well, I do
Keeps on
put
going.
the freak and frequency. So
That's what you
same
said.
thing.
True Reality of Sexuality you want to read, 13 Cubed you want to read, Hyperspace Helper you want to read, get our books on health and healing, all kinds of things you can do for yourself. Right? So with that said, like, comment, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.